Hey guys, welcome back to Election Center, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the 2020 electoral map if Joe Biden improves on Hillary Clinton's margins by 5% nationwide. So basically what I mean by that is, for instance, if there was a state that Trump won by 2% in 2016, that's a negative 2% margin for Hillary Clinton. So if Joe Biden adds 5 to that, that's 3% in favor of Joe Biden. So taking the margins and adding 5% in favor of the Democrats. The reason why I make this video, actually, what gave me the idea, is because what we're seeing in the national polling averages right now is, kind of just that. We're seeing Joe Biden's margin over Donald Trump, about 5% greater than Hillary Clinton's ever was against Donald Trump. We're seeing what that's like nationwide, and, of course, if Joe Biden was improving the margins 5% nationwide, we could see it not be completely even state by state. Maybe he improves 3% in Texas, 7% in New York, right? But we're just going to assume that it's exactly 5% state by state. Let's just jump into it here. We see a lot of these safe red states, going for Donald Trump, not switching to Joe Biden. Montana is sometimes a bit competitive in elections here, but at the presidential level, it's heavily Republican. A lot of these safe states, some of these are sometimes more competitive, but all these states that I'm filling in right now would not flip to Joe Biden. Nebraska, before I fill in some of these other states, I'll get to some of these other ones as we go through the video. But in Nebraska, we'd see actually that second congressional district flip over to Joe Biden. Donald Trump won it over Hillary Clinton by less than 5%. So that would go into the Joe Biden column. I think Donald Trump won it by just over 2%. So yeah, Joe Biden would maybe win it by just under 3%. But yeah, let's move over actually to some of these safer Democratic states before we move on to some of these more interesting flips and whatnot. Okay, looks like we got most of them down here. So now, yeah, kicking off here with a real interesting one, Maine, we would see Donald Trump hold on to that second congressional district. I was actually kind of surprised when I found this out. Donald Trump won that second congressional district by over 10 points in 2016 over Hillary Clinton, despite Barack Obama having won it by 8 points and I think more in 2008. That was really surprising to me when I found that out. But yeah, going by this scenario, I'm not saying that this is probably what's most likely to happen, but going by this scenario, that would actually stick with the Donald Trump column. Over here in the Rust Belt, we'd see all that flip over to Joe Biden. Donald Trump, and then Pennsylvania, we'd also see flip over to Joe Biden. I think I've seen some people consider this part of the Rust Belt. I normally don't think of it as the Rust Belt, so I'll actually get to that in a minute. But yeah, the Rust Belt here, Hillary Clinton won Minnesota by less than 2%, and and then Donald Trump won these two Rust Belt states by really, 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 really small margins. I think maybe less than 1%. In Wisconsin and Michigan. But yeah, with Joe Biden adding 5% to the Democratic margins, we'd see these go into the Democratic column. I think if we're not going strictly by this scenario, what I think will actually happen on November 8th, I think we're going to see these actually go to Joe Biden by an even wider margin. But strictly following this sort of 5% Hillary Clinton plus 5% rule, we're seeing these go to Joe Biden by, a bit less than 5%. Let's actually fill in the rest of these Clinton states. New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada, Virginia. I think we filled in the rest of the Clinton states. Arizona, we'd see that flip into the Joe Biden column, the Democratic column from 2016. This has been trending blue here in Arizona for a while. Hillary Clinton lost that by just 3% or so. So adding 5% to those margins, that's going to go over to Joe Biden. Alaska, I just want to kick it over here to Alaska for a second. We saw a poll come out of Alaska that showed Joe Biden losing to Donald Trump by just 3%. That's probably not too accurate. Nate Silver, 538, commented that the polling in Alaska tends to be a bit overly favorable to Democrats. And then in the presidential election, normally that result doesn't end up playing out. And Hillary Clinton lost it by, over 14 points in 2016, so we're definitely not going to see that flip over to Joe Biden. Now, moving on to these southern states, Texas and Georgia, that have also, along with Arizona, been trending blue for a while. We're going to see Donald Trump hold on to both of those. Texas, he won by 9 points. Donald Trump is still going to hold on to that by, a substantial 4 points or so. And then Georgia, It's going to be probably his narrowest victory on the entire electoral map. He's going to win it by 0.13% because he beat Hillary Clinton here in Georgia by 5.13%. So that's going to go to him. An extremely narrow victory for Donald Trump in Georgia of 0.13%. But we'd see Joe Biden flip Florida. That was a close race in Florida in 2016. Close enough for that Joe Biden victory. Same with North Carolina. These states that Donald Trump just didn't win by wide margins. Some good news for Trump here. We'd actually see Iowa and Ohio stay in the Trump column. He won Iowa by 9 points or so, Ohio by around 8 points. So I think we'd see these states go to Donald Trump by 4 points and 3 points respectively. These were just two wide margins for that 5% rule to flip these into the Democratic column. I think if we weren't following this rule, what I truly think will happen is that Donald Trump's going to narrowly hold on to Iowa. We might see Joe Biden narrowly pull out a victory here in Ohio. In this scenario, they'd stay in the Trump column. Over here in New Hampshire, we'd see this go to Joe Biden by actually a substantial margin this time around, as opposed to the extremely tight race we saw in 2016. This went to Hillary Clinton by less than 1%. We see it go to Joe Biden by 4 or 5%. And then in Pennsylvania, finally Pennsylvania, the last state here, we'd see go to Joe Biden, flip from 2016. It's just another one of these states that Trump was not really expected to win. He somehow had narrow victories in, and going by this rule, that's going to flip over to Joe Biden. So the final electoral vote map is on your screen, the final electoral map, and then the tally here is 334 electoral votes for Joe Biden to 204 electoral votes for Donald Trump. So now, taking a look at this, it's actually surprisingly, in sync with what I think is going to happen. I have my differences with this map. Obviously, the voters aren't specifically following this rule, right? And we're seeing the unevenness throughout the country of, how much Joe Biden is outperforming Hillary Clinton. Maybe for some reason there's some places where he's underperforming Hillary Clinton. I think Ohio is going to go blue in 2020. That's my personal take. But a lot of these battleground flips I see happening, and I actually agree with this map in terms of I think Donald Trump's going to narrowly hold on to Texas and Georgia. This is really pretty interesting taking a look at this map. What would happen if we took the margins of the states in 2016 and just shifted 5% over to the Democrats exactly in every state? And then that map, that's on your screen. That's exactly what you're seeing here. Really interesting to take a look at this sort of a thing, taking a look at this map. And so, I hope you guys found this video interesting. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoy this type of content that I make here on this channel, electoral maps, polls, statistics about the election, then you should definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, I think you're going to really enjoy a lot of these videos that I make here on this channel. But once again, folks, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next Election Center video. Bye!